NASCAR Cup Series race is officially concluded from Talladega Super Speedway, and Chase Briscoe wins on a last lap pass at Talladega in a wild, chaotic finish. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race in Talladega Super Speedway, the Yellowwood 500. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So before the green flag drop in today's race, Riley Herbst, John Nemechek, and Eric Jones would have to go to the rear for unapproved adjustments. At the start of the race, Michael McDowell lead the field from the outside with Chase Briscoe on the inside, and they both remained side by side, but then eventually in lap number 2, Josh Berry got a really good run, and he was able to take the race lead. We see a lot of trading of the lead with a lot of fuel saving going on. Josh Berry would lead for a little bit, then Bubba Wallace would lead. Then Kyle Busch led for a couple laps, and Bubba Wallace got the lead back. And we see a lot of back and forth up front for the race lead between those guys, mainly up front, with Josh Berry also leading quite a few laps at this point of the event. Meanwhile, Ryan Preece later got the lead, then Shaman Gisbergen helped Kyle Busch get the lead once again, and everyone would be remaining on the outside and inside fuel saving at this point of the event. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe got a really good push and was able to take the race lead on lap number 28, and then we got to the green flag pit stops on lap number 38, or number 45 of the race. First guys would come down would be Chase Briscoe, John Nemechek, Michael McDowell, Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs, Cody Ware, Shaman Gisbergen, AJ Allmendinger. Unfortunately, Chase Briscoe and BJ McLeod got penalized for too fast entering. Then the next lap, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Justin Haley, Carson Osbar, Anthony Fredo, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Tyler Reddick were among the guys that came down pit road, and Kyle Busch, one of the strongest cars early, he beat too fast on pit road. And then a couple laps later, Brad Keselowski, Joe Logano, Noah Gragson, Riley Herbst, Brian Preece, Chris Buescher, Cole Custer all came down the road, and Brad Keselowski had a terrible pit stop and overshot his box. And then finally, most of the rest leaders came down pit road, and once it all cycled, AJ Allmendinger would have to basically be second behind Noah Gragson, and Noah Gragson having the lead. Then AJ Allmendinger got a really good run on Noah Gragson. He took the lead, and the first big crash of the day would happen on lap number 52 of the event, up front and going for the race lead. Eric Jones would give a terrible push to Noah Gragson going into turn number 3. Noah Gragson would hit the outside wall, would go back down and hit AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger would hit the outside wall and clobber it really, really hard. A lot of guys would get collected in the wreck, including Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Justin Haley, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. among the guys that got collected in the wreck. Just a terrible push by Eric Jones. Not sure what he was doing in that situation. I guess the end of the stage, but a little bit unnecessary move, especially this early in the event. And for Chase Elliott, tough break for him, because Chase Elliott now is going to Martinsville, pretty much being in a must-win situation. During the caution, Chris Buescher, Josh Berry, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, Todd Gillen, Cody Ware, Riley Herbst, Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe were among the leaders that came down pit road, while the rest leaders would stay out. And then on the restart, you had Joe Logano lead the field from the inside with Ty Gibbs on the outside, and Ty Gibbs got a fantastic push by John Nemechek and was able to clear and take the race lead. Coming off of turn number 4, Tyler Reddick and Ty Gibbs would battle side by side for the race lead. They would battle coming into turn number 3. Tyler Reddick got a really good run. He tried to get him, but off the corner by a couple 1,000ths, Ty Gibbs able to hold off the field and win stage number 1, followed by Tyler Reddick, John Nemechek, Ryan Blaney, and Bubba Wallace. Then all the lap cars would then come down pit road, except Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Shaman Gisbergen, Casey Mears, Austin Hill. Then eventually Shaman Gisbergen, Casey Mears, Austin Hill came back the top down. A lot of other guys would do the same thing as well on the next lap. On the restart, you had Ty Dillon lead the field from the inside with Chris Buescher on the outside, and Chris Buescher got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the lead. And then Josh Berry, he got a great run and would charge his way up to the front, and he would take the race lead for a couple laps, and Chris Buescher got a run. He took the lead, and they battled 3 wide for quite a few laps, as once again they were fuel saving at this point of the event, with Kyle Busch having the lead at that point. As the run progressively went on, there was nearly a big wreck that took place between Anthony Alfredo, and we nearly had the big one happen at that point, but luckily no one got collected in a potential crash. I don't know what Anthony Alfredo was doing in that situation. It was nearly a big wreck at that point. And as the run continued on, we basically see a lot of drivers start coming down pit road. At that point, we'd see most leaders stay out, continue doing the field save when Josh Berry and Joe Logano staying out front. Then we started seeing the leaders come down. First, Austin Hill, Kyle Busch, Josh Berry, Michael McDowell. Then we would see Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece pit, with Chris Buescher being too fast on pit road. Then the next lap, most leaders would come down pit road, including Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, William Byron, Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman. As they were coming down pit road, Shane Van Gisbergen would hit a water spot coming down pit road, and when unfortunately ended up spinning in the grass, there had been some rain early in the morning. There were some weepers coming out of the track. He got hit those weepers, and that got him unfortunately stuck in the grass. Tough break for Shane Van Gisbergen there. Luckily, his race would not be entirely over, but would bring the caution out, and this would affect Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick, as they both would have to come down pit road because they needed to have enough gas. But a lot of guys will come down pit road, including Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, Riley Herbst, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Joe Logano, Josh Berry, Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, and a bunch of drivers would get penalties at that point. On the restart, you had Chase Briscoe leading the field from the outside with Carson Hocevar on the inside, and Chase Briscoe got a really good push at Carson Hocevar and was able to take the race lead. And then William Byron tried to challenge up front to get the race lead, but then Kyle Larson was getting a really big push from behind and gave Chase Briscoe a push down the tri-oval, and Chase Briscoe was able to get the lead. Kyle Larson on the last lap of the stage would try to make the move the outside of Chase Briscoe to get to the lead of the event, but got loose after contact with William Byron. It wouldn't matter at the end, as Chase Briscoe would come off the corner and win stage number 2, followed by Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, William Byron, and Christopher Bell. Big stage wins there for Kyle Larson and William Byron and Christopher Bell as well. So then all lead lap cars would come down pit road once again, except a lot of the guys who then basically came in the next lap, including Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar. On the restart, you had John Henry Nemechek lead the field from the outside with Kyle Busch on the inside, and John Henry Nemechek got a great push and was able to clear for the lead. And at that point, we remained single file at that point of the event. But then eventually, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, they charged their way up to the front and were able to take the race lead. And from that particular point, they would dominate the next portion of the event. With around 25 to 30 laps to go in the race, they were all setting up to try to have a potential way they can come in pit road so they can have enough gas to make it to the checker flag. But then it all get thrown away with 23 laps to go when Cody Ware unfortunately had an engine failure and would start slowing on the racetrack. He ends up spinning out because of getting into his fluid. He would bring out the caution with 23 laps to go. Just a bad break for Cody Ware there. His day would be over. So then, all lead lap cars would then come down pit road with Ryan Blaney winning the race off pit road, followed by Joe Logano and Todd Gilliland. There would be some contact between William Byron and Bubba Wallace coming off pit road, and then he had Shane Van Gisbergen, who actually got a speeding penalty. The broadcast never really mentioned this, but SVG got a speeding penalty at that point as well. With 17 laps to go, you had Ryan Blaney lead the field from the inside with Todd Gilliland on the outside, and Ryan Blaney got a decent restart, was able to clear for the lead, but then Todd Gilliland, he got a great restart, and he was able to take the race lead. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson was charging his way up to the front and move up to second position, get a great push from Daniel Suarez, the challenge on the outside of Todd Gilliland, and then Kyle Larson got a great push from Todd Gilliland. He was able to clear for the race lead, but Larson would eventually lose the lead at that point, and they all battle back and forth between Todd Gilliland, Kyle Larson, Zane Smith, Chase Briscoe, as those guys are charging their way up to the front. With 6 laps to go, Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe would be side by side for the race lead of the event. With 4 to go, William Byron gets a big run on Kyle Larson. He takes the race lead. They both battle side by side for the event. And with 3 laps to go, Chris Buescher got a great run on the outside lane and got to the outside and passed William Byron for the lead. With 2 laps to go, the final caution race would come out for Chris Buescher, the race leader. Unfortunately, Chris Buescher, he got spun by William Byron going down the back straightaway. He would hit the inside wall really hard. Byron got a push, it looked like, from Carson Hocevar right behind him. Big run at that point, just going forward at the point. A terrible push by William Byron nonetheless, but it wasn't on William Byron. Buescher, nothing he could do in that situation. Tough break for William Byron, tough break for Chris Buescher, who looked like was going to have a chance and opportunity to go for a potential win. So on the final restart, you have William Byron lead the field from the inside with Kyle Larson on the outside, and they both remain side by side for the race lead as they were coming to the white flag of the event. Bubba Wallace got a rig run on the outside of Kyle Larson and took the lead going down the back straightaway. As it came to the white flag, Kyle Larson would have the lead for a second, but then going down the back straightaway, Kyle Larson unfortunately runs out of gas going down the back straightaway. Chase Briscoe makes the move in turn number 3 with Bubba having the lead at that point after losing the momentum after Larson lost the lead. Chase Briscoe would make the move to the outside, gets the run on the inside, makes the pass, and coming off throughout the final corner, Chase Briscoe is able to make the last lap pass, come back from a speeding penalty, and picks up his third win of the 2025 season, his fifth career NASCAR Cup Series win, and locks his way to the Championship 4 with the win at Talladega. What an incredible late race drive by Chase Briscoe. Briscoe had one of the strongest cars in the field near the end of the event, charged his way up to the front, kind of had that penalty like I mentioned, but what a big, impressive move leading that race. I didn't think Chase Briscoe was going to be in position to win that race, but is up front a lot of this day, coming back from issues, coming back from penalties throughout the race, and he still comes home with a fantastic, really strong day, an amazing day for Chase Briscoe. Congratulations to him. He has had an amazing year, a breakout season in the NASCAR Cup Series. If you would have told me that Chase Briscoe coming this year would have 3 wins and be in the Championship 4, I would have told you he would have been crazy, because I think he would have been a round of 8 contender, but to make the Championship 4 or course pending post-race inspection, very impressive for Chase. Congratulations to him on picking up the win and victory at Talladega Superspeedway, a well-earned and well-deserved victory with a really good push. So now we're going ahead and take a look at the race results and give my score and thoughts on today's race. So Chase Briscoe picks up the win. Todd Gillen finishes second. I believe this is a career high for Todd Gillen in his Cup Series career. So close to picking up that first career win. Had a really good car. Has been struggling this year. Been a rough year for the 34 team. Looking for bounce back races. Today was an amazing run for Gillen. Was up front a lot of this race. Showed some good speed. Amazing run for Todd. He finishes second. Ty Gibbs finished third. A much-needed good run from Ty Gibbs, trying to close out the season on a really strong high. Today was a really good run from Ty Gibbs. Won a stage, got a lot of points in today's race as well. Good run from Ty. He finished third. Bubba Wallace finished fourth. Man, I thought Bubba Wallace was going to get a second win of the season, but another top 5. This 23 team has had a ton of speed in the second half of this year, and they're going to carry that momentum into 2026, because I love what I'm seeing from Bubba. He led laps today, showed impressive speed out on the racetrack, had a fast car, was in position to pick up the win. Doesn't close out the deal, but a great run for Bubba nonetheless. He finished fourth. Cole Custer finishes fifth. Great finisher car for Cole Custer today. Scores a really strong top 5 finish. Was up front at points. Faded back early, but got a top 5 finish. Great run for Cole Custer. Carson Osbar finished 6th. He spun William Byron on the white flag of the race. That took Byron out of contention for a great finish today. But Hocevar does get a top 10, so a solid day for Hocevar, I believe his 9th top 10 of the year. Tyler Reddick finished 7th, the winner of the spring race last year. Solid day for Reddick. Showed some good speed out there. Wasn't expecting Reddick to be a factor. He gets 7th place finish. Solid day for him. Christopher Bell finished 8th. He did what he had to do. He survived all the carnage. He's in a pretty good position going to Martinsville, track where he's won at before. Good day for Christopher Bell. He finishes inside the top 10 in 8th. Zane Smith finished 9th. A solid top 10 run for Zane. He was in position to pick up the win. He's been impressive at times throughout the year, showing some race-winning speed at points this season. Good day for Zane to get a top 10 in 9th. And Brad Keselowski finished his 10th. Good run for Brad Keselowski. Was up front, led some laps, I believe, in this event. Was in position at points to get his 7th Talladega win. Doesn't close out the deal today, but he does get a top 10. Solid run for him. Shane Van Gisbergen finished 11th. Comes very close to getting his 2nd Oval top 10 in his Cup Series career. He was impressive today. He came back today from a penalty. He spun out. He got a speeding penalty and still nearly comes back and finishes inside the top 10. I'm telling you, he is getting better at these types of tracks. 2026 is going to be a fun year to watch him, because the fact that he was in position to score a top 10, extremely impressive. Congrats to Shane on a great run once again today. Continuing to improve. He finished 11th. Daniel Suarez finishes 12th, right behind his teammate Shane Van Gisbergen. Still looking for a job going next year, even though we kind of have an idea of where he might be headed in 2026. Does get a top 15, another solid run at a super speedway. Ross Chastain finished 13th. Decent day for Ross. Ran up in the top 10, top 5, especially in the second half of this event. Showed some pretty good speed out there. Points. Does get a top 15. John Nemechek finishes 14th. Ryan Preece finishes in 15th. Joe Logano finished 16th. Had great speed throughout the day, but did not get a ton of stage points. He goes to Martinsville now in a must-win situation. Logano not getting those stage points and having the field issues cost him a shot at a great finish today. He finished in 16th. Michael McDowell finishes in 17th. Casey Mears gets a top 20, 18th place. How about that for a guy who hasn't raced that much? A solid top 20 run for Casey Mears. One of the highest finishes for the Garage 6 team. Good day for Mears to finish in the top 20. Kyle Busch finishes 19th. Kyle Busch had a fast car early, but unfortunately just got in bad track position with all the gridlock at the end. He finished 19th. Ty Dillon finished 20th. Anthony Alfredo finishes in 21st. Austin Hill finished 22nd. Ryan Blaney finished 23rd. My pick coming in the weekend. A really frustrating day for Blaney. He had a potential to get the win and victory today, but nothing to show for it at the end. He doesn't get the finish. He's going to be a factor Martinsville next week. We'll have to see if he has a car like he said the last 2 times. He finished 23rd, but now goes to Martinsville in a must-win situation. Danny Hamlin finished 24th, had a suck throttle, had some debris in the car, does get a top 25. William Byron, who got spun by Carson Hocevar on the last lap, finished 25th. Byron is going to be pissed at Hocevar. That's 2 straight weeks where Byron was in a good position to get a great finish. He couldn't capitalize on that today. Tough break as Byron had a fast car. He finished 25th. Kyle Larson finished 26th. Kyle Larson was half a lap away from potentially picking up his first Super Speedway win and runs out of gas. The good news for Larson, he got stage points today, and the good news is Larson actually lost no ground on the cutoff line. I think he came in 35 points up. He's 36 points up right now. He's the 4th guy on the bubble, so he needs to have a great run in Martinsville, but he does finish really well today, and he does get a strong finish. So had a good run, but then it kind of went away from him. He finished 26th after running out of gas. Tough break to what was a good run for him. Austin Dillon, who had damage, finished 27th. BJ McLeod finished 28th. Alex Bowman, after engine issues, finished 29th. A disastrous day for Hendrick Motorsports. Chris Buescher finished his 30th. Cody Ware finished 31st. Riley Hertz finished 32nd. Josh Berry, after having a really strong car early, had the issues with the heating in his car, finished 33rd. Austin Erker fell out of the race, finished 34th. Eric Jones finished 35th. Noah Grayson finished 36th. AJ Allmendinger finished 37th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 38th. Justin Haley finished 39th. And finishing last in 40th place is Chase Elliott. So now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the playoff standings after the second race of the round of 8. So now let's take a look at the playoff standings after the second race of the round of 8. So obviously, Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe are advanced to the championship 4 with their wins in Las Vegas and Talladega. Christopher Bell is 37 points up going to Martinsville, and Kyle Larson's up by 36. Meanwhile, everyone below the cutoff line is in must-win. William Byron's down by 36. Joe Logano's down by 38. Ryan Blaney's down by 47. And Chase Elliott's down by 62 because of how good Larson's been recently at Martinsville, how good Bell's been at Martinsville over the years. I think that everyone below has to win. Ryan Blaney, I think, is a favorite to win at Martinsville, though, so I think Blaney will have a good chance to get in there. But everyone below is going to be in a must-win situation going to Martinsville. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole and give my scoring thoughts on today's race. The first half of the race, and really the first 2/3 of the race, is kind of your normal Super Speedway next-gen event. It was a lot of fuel saving throughout the day. There was a lot of the gridlock going on. The guys were not going full throttle throughout the day. Yes, there were points, and I'd rather see them side-by-side doing this and running up on the top lane, but back then you could control your destiny when you wanted to make a move. I wasn't very intrigued by the first 2/3 of the event. The end of the race, on the other hand, I actually was really enjoying it at points. Yeah, guys being able to make it 2 or 3 wide, especially at the end, which we haven't really seen with the next-gen car. And I thought that part in the ending was actually really solid. I thought the finish of this race, the final 10 or the rest 20-25 laps, was really good. But it wasn't a great Talladega race. It was way better than the spring race, though, I'd have to say. I had a more fun watch, obviously, because NBC did a much better job covering the race today than I think Fox has done. But that's a bar that's very easy to clear at this point. But I think today's race is all right. It wasn't spectacular for Super Speedway standards, but it was an all right race. My score is going to be around a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I think it was around a 7.5, 8 out of 10 race. A good finish to the event, but not the most exciting start, but a good ending. My score is going to be an 8 out of 10. So that is going to be it for the NASCAR Cup Series race review from Talladega Super Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Notifications on so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go to more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Chase Briscoe on picking up the win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In about an hour or so from now, we're going to do a Shane Van Gisbergen video recapping his day at Talladega Super Speedway. Had an adventurous day at Talladega, but does get a top 15. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussions over the course of the last couple of days. We got a lot of news to talk about from Talladega today. We also got some other stuff to talk about, silly and stuff around people like Jesse Love and Justin Allgaier and Chandler Smith. We're also going to be doing a free agency video talking about the top 10 free agents remaining on the market for the 2026 season who are still not signed at this point for next next year. And we got some other content dropping. We'll be talking about Marzo going into that. We'll have race picks also on Tuesday dropping as well for the Craftsman Truck Series race. And we got a lot of content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Frankie Muniz, Cletus Safar, Dodge Ram, Connor Zolch, Junior Motorsports, Daniel Suarez, all the good stuff like Will Brown, Finney, Cam Waters too. Talk about all this stuff on the channel in the coming days and weeks as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, buddy.